Loser.
I am a loser. All right, the boys and ladies are done with their break.
There's no lady here.
No lady here
we
today.
go. No.
Some more entertainment. False advertising. False advertising. God. Ugh.
Bullshit. This is all bullshit.
I am bullshit.
Oh, hey, this is the BS show.
That's it. Exactly. It's total BS. Which is why. See? Huh?
So much bullshit.
Huh?
The bullshit proliferates
Huh?
up in this bush.
Huh? Huh?
Oh, son of a bitch. How was everybody's weekend? Everybody out there having a good time? Good. I'm glad to hear it. Nick had a good time.
I did.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just delaying because I didn't have this queued up.
You're terrible at like.
I suck at the internet sometimes. For as much time as I spend on it. Okay, so this story originally broke near the end of October, and there was an update since then. Maynard James Keenan of a band, the band Tool, who quite frankly, I'm a big fan of.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
If I were to list some of my favorite bands, Tool would absolutely be up there.
Perfect Circle and Tool are pretty high up on mine.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
So a while back in an interview, I used to have notes on this. Apparently, I don't have them anymore. Maynard James Keenan called fans "quote unquote" insufferable retards.
Tool
anyway,
fans specifically, right?
Tool fans specifically.
Okay.
So anyway, the original article. This is an excerpt from the Phoenix Times News, which I should queue up here. I don't have. Okay, it's a fairly shit. See, this is why I had notes, because this is a very long article.
It's a professional operation, Nick.
I know.
I expect more.
I know. Okay, here we go.
More spooning.
Let's see. It says he acknowledges that there was indeed humor in the Tool albums, but as with any time he's asked about Tool, his answers quickly become curt. A hint of exasperation, and quite frankly, I understand that.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's been involved in that project for so long.
For a very long time, and you would think with the volumes and masses of information out there about that band, people would stop asking questions at some point.
They might, but at the same time, like, to play devil's advocate, if you're a fan,
I guess you're always going to have questions.
You're always going to wonder what the hell's going on with Tool. So anyway, it says, okay, so a hint of exasperation creeps in his voice, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it's there, he says, but people miss it because they're so focused on the other bullshit. He shakes his head. Ugh. I burped because I've been drinking. It's lost. Insufferable people. It's just ridiculous, retards. I'm sorry. Can't help them. Way too serious. Too much. Lighten up.
As somebody who's attended several Tool shows, always fantastic, by the way. I was. Let me give you this experience from the first Tool show that I went to. I'm a Tool fan. I'm not like.
When was this?
99, 2000, somewhere around there.
Okay.
And I'm not like I'm not like, yeah, Tool #1, go team. No, I'm not one of those guys. But I do like their music, and I'm familiar with the music, and I like it.
Yeah.
So I went to the show, and I'm all like, it's gonna like expand my mind, man. This is gonna be amazing. I was ready to hit like my mind explode or whatever.
Word.
And so I was at the show. We were on the floor. The band starts up, and all of a sudden,
you got floor tickets.
Yeah,
you had money.
All these. I worked and didn't eat. That was apparently
Clearly, that's changed. Oh, that joke. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh.
Cheap shot. I'm sorry.
Anyway, I was at the show, and the music starts, and all of a sudden, all these muscly dudes started taking their shirts off and like running into each other, and
mosh pit. Yeah.
Well, okay, but it was beyond mosh pit because
Really?
it was strangely jockish, if that makes sense.
No, it does.
I've
actually seen it, which was weird because generally speaking, you only saw the quote unquote jockish ones at like Godsmack. You know what I mean? Like
yeah, but the thing is,
mainstream.
And then from that point on, every time I was at a Tool show, it would be a similar thing. I'd see these like jockish dudes like without shirts and like. Getting all into like the giant percussion solos that they do,
Sure.
And it kind of bothered me though, because I consider it to be pretty heady intellectual stuff, and you got these numbskulls like running into each other and being all muscly and whatnot.
It's a combination of both, though. Really, like there's a lot of penis references on all of their music, and there's a lot of stuff that I think that's meant it's clearly meant to be done in humor.
Well,
I mean,
right.
They did an entire album, largely. Well, I can't say an entire album. And they did an album largely based on Bill Hicks' work, who was a very prominent comedian.
Correct.
Who had passed away at the time of Enema, which quite possibly. Not quite possibly. It's definitely on my list of favorite albums of all time. If you want me to list all of them, Enema is right up there.
But their stuff is heady, but at the same time, it's tongue in cheek, you know. So I just don't. But the thing is, it's also aggressive, you know.
Sure.
So I could kind of see how you get like the gym rat types in there, but it bothered me.
I know exactly what. I think I was at the same concert, and I remember being struck by the same thing because I was not lucky enough to be on the floor, but I was in the stands for that show. And I remember looking down and looking at the mosh pit and seeing all the jockish people. I was like, really?
Mm-hmm,
Those are Tool fans?
Right. Well, and you know, I mean, like, they go on these drum odysseys that last 20, 30 minutes or whatever, and these dudes are like...
let's look. Tool, and this is simultaneously what I like about Tool and what I don't, is the fact that they're willing to go long form. They're willing to go really long and really expand upon ideas, whether you like it or not.
Sure.
They're going there.
Yeah, but the entire time, like on this drum odyssey or whatever, the entire time this was going on, these dudes would be like headbanging and like beating on their chests. It was like it was the most bizarre thing, and I paid more attention to these people than I cared to. But now, I was.
Well, you're on the floor. You got to kind of be aware of it.
Yeah, but I was more or less just struck by it, you know, because I always thought it was kind of like a smart intellectual kind of.
You would think that. You would think that.
But that's just me.
If you ever,
not there's anything wrong with muscles or being crazy or anything like that. Just it threw me for a loop.
It did me as well. I have been to a couple of Tool shows, not a lot. I've been to a couple, and I would largely describe them as very, as you described, heady experiences.
Yeah.
If you go there with the idea that you want to have your mind blown, I think they're quite adept at doing that.
Absolutely. I just wasn't ready for the fans, I guess.
Yeah, I get like the fans that like. I almost said the fans that like sober. Like that's my personal.
Okay.
That's my personal take on it. Like the ones that like sober, because I don't like that song. I don't know why. I just don't.
Oh, it's a rockin' ass song though, man. That is a.
You like it, I don't. That's just my personal. It doesn't really strike a chord with me. But like you look at people just like, yeah, that's me because I'm drinking. Woo! And quite frankly, I think those are the fans that Maynard is referencing in quotes like that.
You might be.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can see that.
I think maybe not. But anyway, Maynard did update after the story was released because basically saying context. Keep it in context.
Oh, yeah.
If you read the entire interview, which we will link to at brainstatic.net or totalbspodcast.com.
Get it straight.
Both of them, actually.
Whatever.
Both, technically. Because I'm just talented like that. Ooh, I got digital noise. What's happening?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Something just... I don't have no idea where that's coming from.
Can you listeners at home hear that? Because it's delightful.
I don't know where that came from. They just kind of hit out of nowhere. Oh, we don't have a sound guy here. He's missing in action.
I can push buttons. Where are they?
They're around here somewhere. Okay, it says, okay. The story about the new Pussifer album took over the internet Tuesday, going so viral that it started trending on Facebook, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, it requotes what Maynard James Keenan said earlier. And let's say it said Maynard James Keenan wants nothing to do with Tool or their fans, which again was not what he said.
That's not what. Yeah.
That's not what he said. It said anyway. A user said that hilarious. You can flat out insult your core fan base. Blah blah blah. Anyway, let's see.
I think if you take also the fact that he said it and then you take it seriously, that shows that you don't know what's going on, you know.
But I just scrolled down a little bit because I really want you. I really think this is the important part of it. It's Maynard responded to one of the quote unquote core fans that said, "Our core fan base aren't fanatics; they're music lovers and artists and good people. It's the fanatics that are insufferable."
Absolutely.
And that is exactly what he was saying.
And that might be the muscly gym rats that I was so taken aback by.
Exactly. And that's what. And context that we live in a This is where I start sounding like
Oh
a
no!
man.
Oh, you've been drinking. You're gonna. Oh, we're
I
about
had
to get all philosophical. up
No,
in
but
here.
this is what drives me nuts because I see this all the time where you have this mob mentality and there's people who are just waiting to jump on people.
Well, that's just the internet in general. It's the hive.
It drives me
Yeah.
nuts. It's like what's the context? People just look at one little quote, one sentence, and then
I
make an entire judgment based
I
on that
love
one
when
sentence.
something like breaks on the internet, right? Or just something totally stupid happens. So then you get people that are immediately, offended by it, and then you get people who are offended by the people who are offended. And then you got people who are offended by the people who are offended by the people who are offended. And all
The
this.
inception of offense
It's amazing.
drives me nuts.
Oh, I think it's great. It's like it's a microcosm for reality.
Yeah, but anyway, like I said, this story will be linked. Maynard spent, I would say, an adequate amount of time, probably more time than he really needed to spend defending himself.
Wow, he's
in his
actually
statements.
in on these comments here.
He is. And like I said, and to me, look, that quote right there is
Context.
everything. Anytime you hear any story on the internet, anytime you hear any sort of quote in any reason whatsoever, just keep in mind, like that one word, it's so beautifully put. And that's all it took was one word, context.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
You know, how is it phrased? Consider that before you get all offended. And why am I getting all serious about
I
this?
don't know.
I have no idea.
You're borderline outrage.
Outrage!
Outrage!
Anyway, I think we're done with this story, are we? I think we are.
No,
Yeah, usually when Ben burps.
there's got to be more. There's got to be more.
That's really about it.
There's got to be more to the story. Did we consult the fortune tellers?
No. No.
Can we call
fortune
Miss
tellers.
Cleo? Call me no.
Is she still around?
No.
What happened to her?
I think they got sued.
Did they get sued?
Probably.
Now you make me want to look this up. You completely sidetracked
We
me.
have the interwebs.
We have the interwebs. We can look this up.